Well, I'm going to go ahead and get started. I know we're recording this. We only got a couple folks on, but I know that others will review this after the fact. So good morning. My name is Bryan Sherwood. I am our assistant manager in OIT Client Services. I work with our help desk as well as with our Microsoft 365 team to provide support as part of OIT to students, faculty, and staff. And I am here today representing OIT and representing Amanda Pritchard, who is our amazing Microsoft certified trainer. You can see her in the photo here as well. She's done an amazing job at providing training over the last year to so many of our students, faculty, and staff, and we're really excited about this new program that she's spearheading. She is on vacation today, so I'm filling in for her to share some information about this opportunity and how you can take advantage of this new program that is specific to students. I'm going to talk about this program in both the context of if you are currently a student employee or if you're a prospective student employee. Just in case you're not currently employed on campus, this program is open to any student, but there are definitely special considerations if you're already employed by an on-campus department. So let's talk a little bit about this program, this Teams Ambassador program. Obviously, UT Dallas has really embraced Microsoft Teams over the past year and using it for both classes as well as so many departmental meetings and just collaboration as everybody has worked either remote or a hybrid remote. But this has definitely caused some challenges as well. Teams has really evolved very quickly, and it has definitely caused some challenges in just keeping up with everything that's happening. So we have this new program that is specific to students. It came from requests from students as well as student government to really learn more about Teams and be able to help the university continue to adopt Teams in all that we do. So let's talk a little bit about what the Teams Ambassador program is and what a Teams Ambassador is. A Teams Ambassadors, deliver value-added services that further support UTD student Teams usage and comprehension. This program develops cohorts in the program to serve as liaisons between students and technical staff at UT Dallas. So this is something that we definitely want our students to take advantage of so that we can have trained ambassadors out there for the Teams platform, as so many people are learning to use this for the very first time, or especially as we return to somewhat of a hybrid approach for a lot of our university departments, that we're going to continue to see Teams usage and maybe some changes to how our departments utilize Microsoft Teams. So let's talk about some of the benefits. So this Teams Ambassador program is an opportunity for students to act as liaisons between OIT and students at UT Dallas. These ambassadors will learn about innovative Teams software, advocate for Teams integration in their department if they're a student employee or just within the university, and potentially student organizations and the like. Act as a campus contact for general Teams questions. Now, that sounds like a lot, acting as a campus contact, but really what that means is we know that most people, if they have an issue or they have something that's not working in their, a service that they're using that's part of OIT, they're likely to ask their coworkers first. They're actually likely to ask their friends first before contacting the help desk or opening a ticket. And so we want to really enable students on campus to answer those quick questions, understand how Teams works, and understand what to do if something's not working, whether it be contact the help desk or maybe just restarting your Teams client. Now next, help OIT better understand student culture and needs. We obviously employ a lot of student employees within OIT, but that doesn't always give us a full perspective of what students need on campus in terms of technology needs and how they're utilizing these Microsoft products and all of our services that we offer. So this is going to be a great opportunity for us to hear from students as well about what's working, what's not, what could we do better. Access a network of technical experts for advice and training. Now, through this program, you're going to have access not only to OIT employees and our experts within Microsoft 365 there, including Amanda, who's a certified Microsoft Master Trainer, as well as some of our folks from Microsoft. So Microsoft's been an amazing partner as we've continued to utilize these services within the university and being able to provide advice, provide training, and really be able to answer questions and share new features and the like. So, and finally, maybe the most exciting, exclusive swag and loaner software. There will be swag available to these Teams ambassadors as they go through and when they complete that program, everybody loves, swag and free stuff. So we're excited to be able to provide some of that for our folks that participate in this program. Now, another really exciting component here, whether you're an existing student employee or somebody who's just looking for a student employment job on campus, is this certification and micro-credentialing. So once you finish this Teams Ambassador program, we've worked closely with Microsoft to provide an official certification for this process and micro-credentials that you'll be able to do things like add to your LinkedIn profile or add to your resume. This is super critical for you as you move forward in your, whether it be an on-campus job search or eventual looking to start your career when you do graduate. It adds that, legitimate, piece to your resume that shows you understand Microsoft 365 products and Teams specifically. Within the university, obviously, there's a lot of usage of Microsoft Teams, but it's also one of the most prevalent softwares out in the industry. Most Fortune 500 companies utilize Microsoft Teams and Microsoft 365 products. So this shows that not only do you know what you're talking about with Microsoft Teams, but you've also received training from Microsoft that's been sanctioned from Microsoft as well. So we're really excited to offer that, and it's a great thing to put on your resume as well as your LinkedIn profile. Now let's talk about what is required for this program. So there is a live Teams orientation, so you'll be able to meet others in your cohort as well as meet Amanda, your trainer, as part of this process. That will be held virtually. In fact, this entire program can be completed totally virtually. And so second, you'll be watching additional training sessions. So these are each an hour. These are an hour each, excuse me, on Microsoft Forms, Microsoft PowerPoint, and OneDrive. So those are pre-recorded sessions. You can watch them whenever works for you, but you'll be able to watch those and get additional information on how those products work and how they interact with Microsoft Teams, among other parts of the Microsoft 365 suite. Days, so you'll be able to complete any time within the semester of acceptance. So we'll talk about timeline here in just a moment, but really once you're accepted into this program for the fall 2021 cohort, you'll have the ability to complete these tasks anytime within the fall semester. So you'll be able to complete it anytime during that time. And finally, class code. So that's how you'll get that Microsoft credit. There will be a quiz to kind of test your knowledge and that sort of thing. That's how you'll be able to get that Microsoft certification that I mentioned earlier. You can use on a resume and you'll be able to see on a LinkedIn profile as well. Now, if you are a current student employee on campus, this is something that we've been working closely with the Career Center and the Student Employment Office on. We are asking departments to allow the students to use paid time to participate in this program, which sounds like a big ask, but we'll talk about some of the ways that you can help make that ask and why it's important and why it's actually beneficial to your department for you to participate in this program and get paid for it. So if you are an existing student employee, we do ask that your supervisor approve your participation in this. So I'll talk about how to kind of make that ask in just a moment. And then we will actually confirm with your supervisor after you apply to this program that you are able to participate. So you want to have that conversation with them before you apply so that when OIT reaches out that they're already aware that you're applying for this program. If you're not a current student employee, that is okay. You can still apply to participate in this program, and obviously the time won't be paid, but you're still able to build that resume and get that certification. As I mentioned, so students can also request participate by completing a self-nomination form, and I will include that link here in the chat here in just a moment. Space is limited, so there is a deadline for completing this. I'll talk about that timeline here in just a moment, but unfortunately we are not able to accept late applicants. So definitely if you're interested in this program, you want to get yourself nominated and submit that form as soon as possible. So I mentioned timeline, so here's our application schedule. Orientation dates will be Tuesday, August 24th at 11 a.m. and Friday, August 27th at 2 p.m. As I mentioned earlier, those are the two live sessions that you have to participate in at the time that they're set. So they'll be, obviously live. You'll have to be able to commit to one of those two times. The deadline to apply is August 6th. So you have just about 2 weeks from today to get your application submitted. Again, if you're trying to do this as part of your employment and part of your job with your department, you want to make sure you're talking to your supervisor before you submit that form. We'll be letting the folks know that are going to be a part of our inaugural Teams Ambassador class cohort on August 13th. And as I mentioned, that application will be open today, and I'll be including that link here in just a few moments. All right, so I wanted to show just two other items that are available as part of the Teams Ambassador rollout. So first thing I'm going to show you is a sway that's available. This will have details on the Teams Ambassador program, as well as a link to the application form. So to answer all of your questions, as well as any questions that might come from your supervisor, you can see we've got all the information laid out here on how you participate and how you apply for the Teams Ambassador program. A lot of what I covered today is already included inside of this sway. The other tool that we've got for you is a Convince My Supervisor template. So I mentioned that if you're an existing student employee on campus, we want you to be able to do this as part of your role within your department. And so sometimes that can be hard to put together, why it's important for you to participate here. And so we've put together a template for you to use to be able to convince your supervisor that this is a good idea and that it's beneficial to your department. Now, I will add just one little caveat here. If you work in a department with lots of student employees, I would definitely tweak this to fit what is important to you and why this is important to your specific department. This is a very generic template to start with. It's supposed to be a starting place for you to be able to update and reflect why it is in your department this could be critical. So I encourage you to start with this and add in maybe some business practices that you do as part of your regular job, or some usage of Teams that you already do as part of your job that could be beneficial by going through additional training and getting this certification. So definitely don't just copy and paste this. You can, but it's not necessarily going to be as powerful for your supervisor as if you adjust it to really reflect how this is beneficial to them, what's in it for them in allowing you to use paid time to do this program. So, and the last thing I'll show you is the Teams Ambassador application. So this is the form that you'll fill out to self-nominate. You'll notice that it does ask for supervisor email address as well as what department you work for. If you are not a current student employee, you can just put NA or not employed in those boxes. That's totally fine. But we do ask for that information so that we can verify that your supervisor has approved your participation in this program if you are going to use paid time, or you're allowed to use paid time for this program. So that is really all I have for the Teams Ambassador program, but I'm happy to take any questions that you might have.
So just a quick question.
Sure.
The program is just giving us a deeper overview on Microsoft Teams and how to use it properly.
Yeah, that's correct. So you'll receive additional training. You'll also have the opportunity to network with other student employees on campus that are part of this program. And one thing that Amanda's developed that I am realizing is not in these slides is what's called an SOS, which is a show off skills session that's part of this program, and that allows you to also get some hands-on experience with Microsoft 365 and really show off what you've learned in the program. There also will be a graduation at the end of the program for those that complete all the requirements, and so that's a cool opportunity as well as the swag that I mentioned earlier.
Okay, and you said it's self-paced. We just have to complete it during the fall semester.
That's correct. So the only live things are that live orientation that I mentioned, and then the show off skills presentations may have times that are scheduled as well. I'm not 100% sure how the logistics of that one's going to work, but the bulk of this is available anytime you have time to do it.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Good.
Yeah, just one last thing. So if we're gonna be using paid time, because I am a student employee, um, like, does it mean we're not coming in for work, or are we completing this while we're at work? I'm just trying to understand.
Sure, yeah. So that's something that would be up to your supervisor of how they wanted to approach that. If, depending on what the department's needs are, and depending on your student employee role, it may make more sense for you to do it from wherever, or it may make sense for you to do it, while you're sitting at a front desk or doing other work as well. So that's up to your supervisor of how they would want that to play out.
Okay, I understand. Thank you.
Yeah, good questions. All right. Well, are there any other questions from the audience? All right, hearing none, I am going to go ahead and drop some links in the chat so that you guys have those. The first is that sway with the information that's available there. The next one is that convince my supervisor template, and let me just make sure that that's shared correctly. There we go. And then the last is the actual application for the program. So if there are no further questions, I will let y'all go. And I believe the next item on the agenda today is the keynote. Let me just verify that. Yes, the next session is at 11 a.m. and that's that keynote address, and that will be back to the original meeting link where the welcome and opening remarks was. So thank you guys very much for your time. I appreciate it.